There we go. There we go once again. Listen, peace and blessings. Assalamu alaikum to all. I just wanted to let you know that, yes, you're in the right place. Those of us that have been hitting us on the phones and hitting us in the emails, hitting us in the texts and the messages and all of that good stuff, they've been saying, well, when is Embrace the Day coming back on? Well, we are basically here. So this is a trial run. This is a trial run, you know, to get all the bugs out, things of that nature. My name is Khalifa Muhammad, and welcome to the Halal Dawah TV. Halal Dawah TV is specifically for those that are trying their hardest, striving to do what is right and correct in the face, in the presence of Almighty God, the creator of all the worlds. So I want to just say that, you know, we took a little hiatus. You know, we usually take a hiatus during the winter time, during the December anyway, but we was going through a transformation. That transformation was going through different platforms and things of that nature. So we went through some different platforms. We used to be Kalfani Radio. Big ups to Kalfani Radio and Dr. Ali Muhammad. Woo! That's what we're talking about. He's still putting it down. He's still helping us out. Listen, we was on a roll and still been on a roll. He's helping individuals understand their health and things of that nature. Now, we went into a different phase. And as we went into a different phase, we actually took on a new initiative. And that new initiative is actually affecting a lot of people in this world today. And what that initiative was is that we're helping those individuals that are trying to get their life right, coming back from incarceration. And with that being done, we are we're giving them a place to stay. We're giving them food to eat. We're giving them, it's a program of which we have been blessed to start called the Prison Dawah Relief Program. Now, this Prison Dawah Relief Program is designed just that, just to give those individuals that are coming back from incarceration relief. You know, after spending some time in prison, after spending some time in jail, listen to this part, after imprisoning yourself when it comes to addiction, things like that. See, you need a soft landing. You need a place of refuge. Need somewhere you could gather your thoughts as you get your health back together. Well, we started this initiative. In the midst of this initiative that we started by Allah's permission, by the creator of all the world's permission, we had a little couple of people, I don't know, I guess they was going through some things too. So we pulled back from going live on air because we wanted to make sure that we was doing things right. But a wise man once told me, you don't need permission to do what's right. Woo! You trying to tell me I don't even have to ask nobody, can I do it if it's right? And then if they're trying to come in and they're trying to put some more ingredients in your soup, in your pot, in your kitchen, and you know what you're doing, come on, sometimes it's time to step back and look at it and say, you know what? I got to take this by the horns and I got to make sure that I do it right. Because that same wise man told me, he said this is your project. This is your dream. Listen to this part. This is what the creator of all the worlds blessed you with. Don't expect nobody else to have that zeal and to help nobody in that nature, this, that, and that. Don't expect nobody to do that. You do it. And guess what? The help is going to come. And the help is going to come. So, with that being said, guess what's going to be coming back to, let me get this off. And listen, I want y'all to really, really work with me because, like I said, we just coming back. We just coming back. So, I wanted to say this. See, it got you in Studio A. That's what's up. Now, as you can see on the scroll at the bottom, it says, sponsored by www.prisondawahRelief.com. If you ever want to see what our initiative is all about and what we're doing by God's permission to help those that are coming back from incarceration, then go to that link. You can see exactly what we're doing. And if you have a desire to help, there's ways that you can help too. There's ways you can donate. There's so many ways you can do this, okay? So what I wanted to do today, it's going to be very, very brief. Like they used to say, I'm not going to be long, but I pray that I'll be strong. All right. So with that being said, we want to, first of all, share this. And I mean share. Share. You know what? Because what? This is doing something which is right and exact, helping those out. So the first thing I want to say that we never stopped. We never dropped the ball with this. But the very first thing that I like to share with you that has never gone away, that is definitely going to be a part of this is what? That's right. The Halal Wealth Builders. The Halal Wealth Builders is a group of individuals that have come together to not only teach and learn, but to earn and wages, to earn a living, to invest in their lives of monies in incomes, developing an income that is what? Riba free. Riba free, and those that don't know what riba free means, it is interest. It is something that the creator of all the worlds, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, hates. So we have to stay away from that. So guess what? There's ways that you can do it. And guess how you know? We're not the only ones that's teaching this. We're not the only ones that's sharing this. No, we're not. But we are definitely those ones that are doing this. The Halal Wealth Builders. When we talk about the Halal Wealth Builders, we're talking about education of precious metals. Precious metals, that's right. Gold, silver, copper, platinum. Come on, diamonds, the whole 9 yards. And I want everybody to understand this too that's listening too. Don't get shivers and don't get scared when we talk about these precious metals. I used to do that too. But now, do you know that we can get these precious metals in the world today at a fractional cost? Fractional, that's right. There's ways where you can take that dying dollar bill that you have right now, that's not making no money for you right now, in the banks that you got right now. In fact, the banks that you got your money in, guess what they're invested in? That's right. Gold, silver, copper. They're invested in all that. That's right. So why don't you do it? They're investing your money in that. But then then they're encouraging us to keep the dying dollar? No. There's so many ways in this world today that we could get away from that dying dollar, and that where we're putting our monies at is not collecting any interest, no riba, and live a successful, not only live a successful life, but to be able to build a community, be able to build a legacy, to be able to build your finances. Come on now. It's that time is over working for somebody else for 40 years. And after the 40 years, you get a gold watch and a thank you. And then you get a retirement that you can't even live off of. So you got to go back to work 40 days after your retirement anyway, just to keep going. Nah, those days is over with. Believe me, the days right now is for everybody to stand up and one. That's right. And listen, I know we got to work. I know we have to, we have to sustain life. The lights got to stay on. You got to keep eating. You got insurance. You got, you got your mortgage. Yeah, that got to keep going on. But there's ways that you can do it riba free. At the same time, making money. That's right. We have to start living for those that are generations that we will never meet. So what's coming back to the Halal, the Dawah TV network right here? It's a Halal Wealth Builders. We will be sharing information that will be here for a minute. Okay, let's keep going on. Yes, let's keep going on. Now, we have an initiative, that initiative that I was just telling you about. Oh man, dear to my heart. The Prison Dawah Relief Program. If you could see the stream that's streaming down the ticker tape that's going down low, it says sponsored by www.Prison Dawah Relief Program. Yes. We have a group of individuals that has come together and weathered the storm. Weathered the storm. Weathered the storm of all kinds of things. But we are still standing by God's grace and mercy, by his permission only. And this Prison Dawah Relief Program is established to help those that are actually striving to change their lives as they come back out of prison. Yes, they made a mistake. Guess what? We all made mistakes. In fact, they say to the nearest, meaning that Allah made us so that we can make mistakes. He know we're going to make mistakes. And why? So we can come back to him and ask forgiveness in a sincere heart. Yes. So those of us that make mistakes and those that are coming back from imprisonment that want to change their lives, we have an opportunity here in Tampa, Florida. In fact, it's the first one in Tampa, Florida that is Islamically foundation. Now, don't get scared. Are we only taking Muslims? No, we taking those that want to do what's right, those that don't want to go back to jail, those that don't want to change their lives together, those that want to get back with their families, those that want to be productive in society, building on their own. Yeah, that opportunity is right here. That we have room, you can come. That's right. Now, there is a foundation, an Islamic foundation. We must let you know that. But hey, let me tell you a little secret. When I needed this, I had to go somewhere, and it was a Christian foundation, and I was Muslim. And I can't thank Allah enough for that information. Because look at what happened today. That's right. Clean regime and all that. So anyway, we got an opportunity to get a home, a beautiful home that is housing these brothers that are coming back from incarceration. And we're giving them the opportunity to strive. We're giving them the opportunity to do what? Get their credentials right, get their health right, get their spirit right, and start building, get themselves going again. And then once they get on their own, because let me tell you what a lot of people have done, which is really, it's okay, but it could be like the worst thing in the world. They come out, they go somewhere, and they get a little loan, they get a couple of dollars, or they get put up in a hotel for about 1 or 2 weeks. After that, it's ghost. Nobody's there to help, And then what? Yeah, you guessed it. They tend to go back to what put them in jail anyway. So with that being said, this is opportunity. This relief program is an opportunity to give them just that, to give them a serene place where they can sit down and not think about no bad habits, not think about anything that's the master's foot on the back of their neck. None of that kind of stuff. What it is, it's that opportunity. See, all we need sometimes is what? An opportunity. An opportunity to get out and do what is right for others. See, you know, this is a really passionate program. We have health. We have individuals that's in the health field that's helping them with anybody that needs help. We have the educational with employment. People that are coming out, they need employment. We got that. We get them employment ready. We get them those that are coming back to reunite with their family members that they haven't reunited with in many years. Yes, we help them with that opportunity as well. So this is the opportunity that we have granted, and I can tell you that we are not government funded. No, we can stay away from the government funded. Now, you know, we stay away from government funding, but I got to tell you this. And it's a couple of things, and this name probably come up in a couple of our airing. But you know, President Trump, you know, he ain't my best friend. He ain't my homeboy. I'm not going to invite him over for lamb dinner and soup. I know, but guess what? He's giving his people the opportunity to be financially secure. And one way that he's doing it is he's letting them know, and he's opening up these facilities. He's allowing these facilities to do what? Crypto conscious, precious metals conscious. That's right. So when he opens up the door for his people, guess who else could go through that same exact door? He can't stop you. And people say, don't get, when you hear them talking about the precious metals, gold and silver, I can't afford it. Yes, you can. When they say cryptocurrency, Bitcoin is 100,000, I can't afford it. Yes, you can. You might not be able to buy a complete Bitcoin, but fractionally, yes, you can. You might not be able to buy an ounce of gold, but fractionally, yes, you can. You might not be able to buy 100 ounces of silver, but fractionally, yes, you can. And guess what? Many of us, especially in the Halal wealth builders, have been living off of precious metals, gold, silver, and cryptocurrency. Not going to work, getting up when you want to get up, go out when you want to go out, leave and go across town, leave and go to another state, leave and go to Umrah, leave to go to Hajj, or for what? Your precious metals and the way you handle yourself with your finances. These doors that is been opened, pushed open by Trump. So yeah, I'm cool with him at that level right there. I'm cool with him at that level. Now, and then on the flip side, we can't be funded with this prison Dawah program. You see what they do with ICE. They uncontrollable. They going out there. They get people that have been around for 20 years, respectable individuals that been around 20, 30 years, productive citizens, and breaking them up, shipping them out. Wow. Why? Because they have that legal opportunity to do it. Why? Because this is what he did. This is what he brought up. Listen, but if one thing they can't do, they ain't busting no doors down. And they can't do that. That's illegal. They can't just kick your door and pow. No, they catch you out on the street. That's how they doing you. They catch you out on the street. They catch you when you're at work. Kicking your door and they ain't do it. So now that's the prison Dawah. We not allowing them. Not that we trying to have something that we gotta hide. No, we not. We not. But you know how my mama, your mama, your great mama, your big mama, you say, yo, to keep everybody out your business. Keep them out your business. So the best thing is that we're community based. Yes, we're community based. We're community funded. We're community powered. That's why it's good for you to look at the ticker tape where it says sponsored by Prison Dawah Relief Program and go on the website and look at what it is that we do for the brothers coming home. In fact, we're even going to another level. We're going to another level because we're having an amazing event here in Tampa, Florida. And that event is called the Prison Dawah Regional Weekend. We've come together with many different companies, organizations that are doing the same thing we're doing, which is helping those that are coming back from imprisonment. And in Tampa, December 5th through December 7th, we got an amazing weekend that we're giving out information, sharing information, bringing awareness to the communities of what services we provide for those individuals that are coming home, those individuals that came home. See, that's another thing too. There's many of us that are came home right now that is out on the street right now for a year, 2 years. And it's very hard for them to get back together, and they're trying to stay away from that negativity. Well, guess what? Pick up the phone. Call the Prison Dawah Relief Program here in Tampa, Florida. That's right. That's right. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Thank you so much. I got to put this out there. This one of our viewers has said, Alhamdulillah. May Allah continue to bless you for your efforts and all the good works. Alhamdulillah. May Allah be reward you and thank you too. But we want to let you know that some of us are out there that really need that help. That's been out for a while. We know it's a little rocky, a little shaky, but you're afraid to go back. See, that's a good thing. So what you do now is that you just you call us. You call us. You call somebody that's trying to help. You continue to reach out. Don't be stagnant. Don't be stagnant. Don't let Satan jump and get a hold of you. Because listen, remember, there's no strength stronger than Allah, the creator of all the world. None. Zero. Everything. So what we're doing on December the 5th through the 7th is we're going to have a regional weekend where those individuals and corporations and individuals, businesses and companies are coming together to share the information and awareness of what it is that we have going on to help those individuals. First, that's going to be there will be the featured speaker will be Imam Khalid Griggs. Yes, Imam Khalid Griggs with the IGNA imprisonment organization. He's helping those that are downridden. Yes, very worldwide powerful imam, and he will be our featured speaker. And then right along with it, we also have that's coming to that is a director of IGNA disaster relief is Imam Rafiq Mahdi. He will be coming down to that weekend. Come on, people, come down. Sit down with these amazing spirits, these amazing brothers and sisters that's coming down to get it together to help those individuals that are seeking help. This will be in Tampa, Florida. We will have breakout sessions, and the breakout sessions will be including empowerment. We're going to have an empowerment leader that's coming out here for employment. We're going to have the health individuals coming out there for health individuals. We're going to have different services that support the housing empowerment program. There's different things and avenues, and let individuals know what it is that we do. All the services that are out there. There's so many services out there. It's amazing. Okay. And this is going to be shared during the breakout sessions. This will be at the Essence Event and Ballroom at 5501 North 30th Street in Tampa, Florida. And guess what? It's a free event. It's free. We want to fill it up. Why? We want to bring awareness. Why? Because this is a community-based activity that inshallah ta'ala is going to build, build, build. So yes, come down. Friday, we will have a Juma prayers and meet and greet on Friday. That's the 5th at 2 different locations. Why? Because we have 2 amazing imams that's coming down here like that. Wow. Come on. Where do you get that at? I want you to remember that you're looking at the Halal Dawah TV. And this is the type of things that we do. Okay. So we want to make sure that we get there this week, that weekend. It's a free event. The meet and greet is at on Friday the 5th. We will have 2 Jumas and 2 the masjids will be announced inshallah in the next couple of days. And then the next day, which is the 6th, will be the breakout sessions. And the breakout sessions, and then after the breakout sessions, our very own Imam Rafiq Mahdi will be doing a regional Taaleem. Come on, this is something you do not want to miss. A regional Taaleem. And then the next day, we're going to be having appreciation brunch for donors and supporters of the Prison Dawah Relief Program. And the featured speaker will be Imam Khalid Grace. So, and once again, listen to this, everyone. Everything is free. We want you to come through and be a part of this and show the community what? That you care. Now, also coming up this week, next week, we'll be having each one of these individuals, these beautiful imams, on Embrace the Day as a special guest, so they can show you and talk to you and tell you, hey, look, this is what we're doing, this is what I've been doing, and this is what we ask you to help out and do too. So next week, so I want you to stay tuned to Halal Dawah TV, and we will be sharing that information. They will be on next week. Now, as we continue, that same weekend, that entire weekend will be hosted by our Sheikh right here in Tampa, Florida, Sheikh Al-Inshara Abdul Jalil. He has been on the battlefront of the Prison Dawah Relief Program Ministry. And he has put together a program of individuals, a program of imams that actually was based out of different masjids, but in one particular strong front is the Muslim connection. And together, brother Imam Inshara has put together an amazing team. This team is actually going to many different facilities throughout the state of Florida. And they are giving what? Dawah. They are doing what? Doing khutbahs for Juma. Yes. So I wanted to know, this is actually how it got, how Prison Dawah Relief Program got born. Because I said, well, I got to be a part of that. Okay, what can you, you ain't doing no khutbahs and you ain't. I said, well, I know what I can do. I can help facilitate residentials. I've been there, done that, and been on the other side and done that. And that's how it got born. So our beautiful brother is going to be hosting this entire weekend. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless him with the strength to endure all that he's doing. And inshallah, if you have individuals that's in these facilities, please check with us. Please go to this link, the prisondawahRelief.com. See the facilities that we go to. See how you can engage. And you know why? Listen, let's keep it real, everybody. A lot of us have individuals that's incarcerated right now. Unfortunately, some of us have come from that type of environment. See, let's not be afraid to know that sometimes you need extra help, outside help. So this outside help is available right now. And look, everything is confidential. We're here to help those that are seeking help. Next, that's a part of the Prison Dawah Relief Program is none other than the renowned brother Hafiz Sheikh Ahmed Derek Pete. Yes, that's right, a Hafiz, y'all. He is ready. He is ready to put this. He's a Hafiz of Quran. That means he knows that Quran backwards, forwards, sideways, upside down, inside out. And he's willing to take his spirit, to share that with the building those that are coming out, those that are already out, and our community at large. We want to thank him for being a part of this too. So he's going to be an event co-host. So he's going to be tag teaming with Sheikh Al Inshara, and to make this, by Allah's permission, by God's permission, a successful event. Well, there, everyone, you have basically what it is that we are doing here at the Halal Dawah Network. We are here to be able to let everybody know what's going on in the world of good. We'll be able to make this program and this platform an awareness program. So don't be surprised if you're doing something well in your communities that you get a call from the Halal Dawah Network. That's right. Why? Because we want to make sure that individuals know who you are, what you're doing, and how they could possibly help. You know, we're passionate with the everything that we do. We're passionate with the Halal Wealth Builders. Why? Because it keeps us from riba free. It keeps us into the riba free atmosphere. It keeps us away from interest. And let me just say this. Many of the Halal Wealth Builders have bought homes, have bought cars, have living their lives for the last 10 years off of gold and silver. Now, this is what I want to say again. Don't shiver and shake. Some people say, well, you know, I'm on a fixed income. Guess what? I started on a fixed income. Many of us started on fixed incomes. That's right. You don't have to you don't have to be a millionaire to get a millionaire. You could take a little bit of change. You could take $1 and change it into a silver. You could take $1 and change it into gold and let it sit and let it sit and let it produce for you, period. So there's ways it can do it, and we know how to do it. We're not going to let anybody else shut us down, talk about this is not good. Yes, it is. You know why? Because it's allowed. And it works. So it works for our community. It can work for your community. You know, my nephew, one always used to say, you might not have come from a wealthy family, but a wealthy family could definitely come from you. But we got to start and initiate the process. So that's definitely, we're coming back to that, inshallah, by God's permission. We're coming back to making sure that we stand strong on teaching, learning, and sharing on the financial industry and how we can build instead of begging. We don't need to beg ever again. We don't need to beg. Let's stop begging. Let's get out there and get our own. And what else we're doing is this Prison Dawah Relief Program. That's right. You know why it's important to me? Because right now, in the state of Florida, and this is just Muslims, there's over 10,000 incarcerated Muslims in the state of Florida. We only got one house with 8 beds in it. We need many houses. We need many beds. We need many volunteers. Why? Because them brothers are coming home. And when they come home, should they be coming home to the street, the same street corner that brought them there? Should they come home to the same loving community that brought them there? Or should they have another community of which they grabbed while they was in prison? And some of us was Muslims when we was doing it. Astaghfirullah. So we need support all around the world. That's why those individuals that you saw, Imam Rafiq, Imam Khalid, Imam Ahmad Free, Imam Sheikh. Listen, that's why it's good to have those individuals in our corners. Because, hey, you know, support ain't always got to be money. Support could be just a telephone call. So I want to thank everybody for being a part of this like introductional type thing that we got going on. And if there's anything that I've said and shared that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not pleased, may he share us. May he just please forgive us. With that being said, I want to say, when you get this, please share it, share it, share it, share it. And if you're in the Tampa area or surrounding area between the December 5th and 7th, please come through. Come through and support those that are trying to help others. Inshallah, we will be doing something every day and bringing it back. 10 o'clock, we'll be bringing it back. Embrace the Day on Halal Dawah TV. My name is Khalifa Muhammad. I want to thank you, and inshallah, we'll see you tomorrow. Assalamu alaikum.